LeBron couldn't stay quiet any longer. He confronted Stephen A. Smith courtside. What happened next shocked everyone watching the game live.
And I turned around and he's right here in my face. He said, yo, you got to stop talking shit about my son.
LeBron James confronted Stephen A. Smith courtside during an NBA game, and things quickly got tense. This happened after months of Smith publicly criticizing and making jokes about Bronny on live TV. What happened next only made the situation bigger. Here's how it played out. On March 6, 2025, the Los Angeles Lakers were playing the New York Knicks at Crypto.com Arena. Stephen A. Smith was sitting courtside with Ori Emanuel, the CEO of Endeavor, and comedian Larry David. Smith was there supporting his favorite team, the Knicks. The Lakers won the game in overtime, 113-109. But in the third quarter, during a timeout, something happened that had nothing to do with the score. LeBron James walked straight out of the team huddle and went directly towards Smith's seat. Later, Smith explained what happened in detail on the Gills Arena podcast.
You got to stop f***ing with my son. That's my son. That's my son. And I was like, what? He said, nah, that. I said, yo, let's talk later. He's like, that, nah.
The exchange lasted about 8 to 10 seconds. LeBron walked away looking upset, and Smith didn't say anything back. It ended so quickly that most people in the arena barely noticed. But several fans were recording, and the video spread online almost right away. Later, Smith explained what he thinks made LeBron react that night. He said it wasn't just the months of criticism. According to him, it was something LeBron saw during the game that triggered the moment.
I remember during a timeout in the first quarter seeing Bronny. And Bronny looked over at me, and he had this sad look on his face. And I'm imagining Pop saw that shit, it hit him, and he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up on that.
That detail explains why it happened right there on the court. LeBron didn't call Rich Paul. He didn't set up a private meeting. He didn't wait until after the game. During a timeout, he saw something in his son's face, and he reacted immediately. What people saw in the clip didn't look like a player arguing with a media personality. It looked like a father who believed his child was being hurt publicly, in real time. While that child was watching, Smith chose not to respond. He was sitting courtside on national TV, next to his agency head and a major Hollywood figure. He understood that anything he said would instantly become part of the story. So he stayed quiet. He let LeBron speak and waited. Within hours, the video was everywhere, on X, Instagram, and major sports platforms. By the next morning, every big sports outlet was covering it. Smith woke up to calls and texts from ESPN, his agent, and colleagues. The situation he had tried not to escalate had become impossible to ignore. To understand why this even happened. While LeBron would walk out of a timeout during a live NBA game to confront a media figure, you have to go back to where it started. The father-son dream and the draft. LeBron James had been saying since at least 2018 that he wanted to play in the NBA with his son, Bronny. In February 2022, he made it clear in a tweet, if a team drafted Bronny, that's where he would go. He said he would do whatever it took to play one season with his son, and that it wasn't about money. In March 2023, he went even further, saying Bronny was better than some of the players he had been watching on League Pass. Those public statements shaped the way people viewed Bronny before he ever stepped onto an NBA court. Scouts, analysts, and commentators evaluated him through that lens, a lens created by LeBron himself. Bronny's path wasn't simple. In July 2023, during a summer workout at USC, he suffered cardiac arrest. He recovered and, after one limited college season, declared for the 2024 NBA draft. In June 2024, the Los Angeles Lakers selected him with the 55th overall pick. At that time, Stephen A. Smith wasn't attacking him. In fact, he was taking a different tone altogether.
Stephen A., I'm going to start with you. We got Stephen A. and CJ McCollum here. Who do you think should draft Bronny?
CJ, go ahead.
I think the Lakers should draft him. I think if you look at the development process of him being able to play alongside LeBron James, arguably the greatest player of all time.
On first take, Stephen A. Smith strongly defended the situation after the draft. He pushed back against claims of nepotism and said LeBron had earned the right to have this moment with his son. Smith pointed out that favoritism and family connections have existed in sports and business for decades, especially in non-black families, and rarely received the same level of criticism. He argued that the real focus should be on how head coach J.J. Redick would handle the pressure and attention, not on attacking the James family.
I think that the Lakers are in a position right now where they need to be patient with him. They need to understand that it takes time to grow and develop.
I completely agree with you if Bronny's going to be in the G League developing. I do not agree with you.
At that point, Smith wasn't questioning Bronny's talent. His concern was the situation around him. He believed having Bronny in the Lakers locker room alongside LeBron could create a lot of pressure. Not necessarily because of how Bronny would play, but because of the emotional weight and constant media attention it could bring to the team. In Smith's view, it wasn't about skill. It was about the intense spotlight and how that environment might affect everyone involved.
If he's going to be inside that Lakers locker room. And the reason why is because of the combination of other players who are going to be in the locker room, combined with the media that comes with being in Tinseltown when you're a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. You talk about a distraction.
But
the important thing is this. In June 2024, Smith was still being supportive. He wasn't making fun of Bronny. He wasn't saying he should be cut. He was simply warning about what he saw as structural risks, the pressure and spotlight that could come with the situation. Over the next 6 months, those concerns started to show. On October 22nd, 2024, opening night, LeBron and Bronny became the first father and son to play together in an NBA game. Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. were there to witness the historic moment. It was something LeBron had been planning and talking about for years, and it finally happened. But as Smith later said on air, reality was coming. The numbers and the breaking point: by late January 2025, Bronny had played in 13 NBA games. He logged 44 total minutes, scored 4 points, and shot 1 for 16 from the field. He was averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. In the G League, he looked more comfortable, averaging around 13 to 16 points per game in limited appearances. But at the NBA level, the gap was clear. The difference between the spotlight he was placed under and what he was ready to produce showed up in the box score. On January 28, 2025, the Lakers lost to the Philadelphia 76ers 118-104. Bronny played a season-high 15 minutes and 26 seconds. He went 0-for-5 from the field, scored 0 points, had 3 turnovers, and was targeted defensively by Tyrese Maxey. The next morning, January 29, 2025, Stephen A. Smith went on First Take and delivered a strong monologue. That speech became the turning point, the moment that set off everything that followed, including the courtside confrontation on March 6th.
Last night, the Lakers took a loss to the Sixers, but didn't come without Bronny James seeing some decent playing time in the first half.
He began by setting the context. He reminded viewers what had just happened in the game and referenced J.J. Redick's own comments afterward. Smith pointed out that even Redick had acknowledged the situation, admitting after the loss that it was a tough environment and that Bronny was still developing. Smith used that to frame his argument, showing that the concerns weren't coming out of nowhere, but were already being recognized inside the organization.
Maybe put him in a tough spot, flying up yesterday and, nationally televised game and Philly, all that stuff.
And then Smith made it clear who he was really talking to. His main message wasn't aimed at Bronny. It was directed at LeBron. Smith said his issue wasn't with a young player trying to find his way in the league. His argument was that LeBron, as a father and as one of the most powerful figures in the NBA, had put his son in a position where the pressure and criticism were unavoidable. In Smith's view, Bronny was simply a young player developing. But LeBron, by publicly pushing for the father-son dream and helping create the spotlight around it, had to accept responsibility for what came with that spotlight.
I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. Stop this.
That phrase, "stop this," quickly became the headline. It spread across social media and sports shows almost instantly. But the full argument was bigger than that one line. After saying it, Smith explained that he wasn't attacking Bronny. He said he felt sympathy for him. His point was that Bronny was being put in a difficult position. one where every mistake would be magnified because of his last name and his father's influence. Smith argued that this wasn't fair to a young player still developing. In his view, the situation needed to be handled differently, not to embarrass Bronny, but to protect him from the kind of spotlight that could damage his confidence and growth.
We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad. The first game of the season, opening night, the Griffeys in attendance, father-son duo playing in an NBA game for the first time.
He presented it as a message from one adult to another, a request to a father. Smith said he understood what LeBron was trying to do, but he disagreed with how it was being handled. But then his words went beyond simple analysis that he used a boxing comparison. He brought up Joe Frazier allowing his son Marvis Frazier to fight Larry Holmes. The point of the story was that even legendary champions, acting out of love and pride, can put their sons into situations they aren't ready for, and that it can cause lasting damage. With that analogy, Smith wasn't just talking basketball anymore. He was suggesting that Bronny might be facing a level of exposure too soon, and that, in trying to make history, LeBron could be unintentionally putting his son at risk emotionally and professionally.
Bronny James is averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. You know what people are saying. You know what they're going to do to this kid. In 13 games, he has played 44 minutes. He has scored 4 points. He is shooting 1 of 16 from the field, 0 for 7 from three-point range. How are you doing him favors?
Later that same day, Smith uploaded a longer version of his take to his YouTube channel. In it, he went further than on air. He called out Rich Paul, criticized LeBron's public statements before the draft, and explained that his concern for Bronny was being misunderstood. Smith stressed that caring about Bronny's situation didn't mean he was disrespecting the James family. He was speaking out of genuine concern for a young player in a high-pressure environment.